Micro, small and medium enterprises and startups play a major role in most economies, particularly in developing countries. According to the World Bank, MSMEs account for the majority of businesses worldwide and are important contributors to job creation and global economic development. However, the majority of businesses in Africa in general, and Malawi in particular, are faced with challenges. These challenges are bad, low access to finance, lack of proper financial infrastructure, which contribute to high cost of wholesale funding available for microfinance institutions and smaller banks, which they pass on to their borrowers, high interest rates in the commercial banks, and the prolonged effects of COVID-19. This then brought in the birth of Financial Inclusion and Entrepreneurship FinES project. The FinES project is a 5-year Government of Malawi project being implemented by the Reserve Bank of Malawi under Project Implementation Unit with funding from the World Bank. The project's cost is $86 million. Guilford Kadzakumanja is a financial sector specialist, and he explains more on the project.
My name is Guilford Kadzakumanja. I am the financial sector specialist for the FinES project. FinES was conceived against a background where the SMEs, the smaller businesses, were having difficulty to access financial services from the commercial banks or financial institutions. There were all sorts of issues, including, I think, the complaint that the loans were becoming more and more expensive, and most of the financial institutions were demanding collateral, which they didn't have, or indeed the general, capabilities of the SMEs themselves was also deemed not to be at a level where the financial institutions had comfort that they will be able to pay back the loans. So it has been, a period or a series of issues happening around the smaller businesses. The major complaint being we are unable to access loans from the financial institutions. So FinES came up with a solution. One of it was indeed to offer cheaper loans to these enterprises, and also just to make sure that there is liquidity in the financial services sector. You remember during the COVID period, businesses were not performing that well. So it then became apparent that if these smaller businesses are to survive, the government needed to inject additional liquidity in the market and then create a product that would be easily accessible by these smaller businesses. So micro, small and medium enterprises are eligible for as long as they are registered in Malawi. So when we say micro, I think people ought to understand that we're talking about really small businesses. They could be sole proprietorships or businesses that employ just between 1 and 4 people, and with a turnover or annual sales of just about 5 million kwacha. And when it comes to the smaller enterprises, we're talking about those that have employed maybe between 5 and 20 people with a turnover of up to 50 million Malawi kwacha. And those that are maybe employing in excess of 20 people to 99 people, and then they have an annual turnover of about 500 million Malawi kwacha. They are considered to be medium. So all these enterprises are welcome for as long as they are Malawian owned. And also we are encouraging women-led businesses and youth-led businesses to come forward, because previously they were saying that indeed, and the situation still stands, that perhaps most of them are unable to access the loans. But here is now an opportunity for them to access loans, cheaper loans for that matter, from the FinES project. So the way the FinES operates is it does not lend directly to the smaller businesses. The project lends the money to financial institutions like development finance institutions. We have MIC, we've got NBM Development Bank, and then to commercial banks, Standard Bank, Centenary Bank, NBS Bank, and then the microfinance institutions, FINCA, MIF, QMO, Vision Fund, WealthNet, Microloan, Sile, Financial Services, to mention but a few. And also even SACCOs are benefiting. The community SACCOs are coming in also to get their share so that they can benefit their members. But the emphasis is that the money should go to businesses. It's not for consumption. It's not just for personal use. So that is how the project is structured.